I
think
love
there's
hearing
some
that.
I think there's some pretty straightforward policies that we could move forward on. In particular, a stay in Mexico policy, which tells people who want to apply for asylum that it's better and safer to remain in your home country when that application process goes through. What we do know is
Hmm.
the overwhelming majority of individuals who have a claim for asylum, when those claims are finally adjudicated, they're found out to not be with merit. The challenge is those claims are often not heard for 3 to 4 years. So a stay in Mexico policy is actually the right policy. That's a Trump era policy. The other piece of this is critical funding for border security. The Border Patrol agents are currently understaffed, they're underfunded. And we need to get serious in those regards. And then the third piece that I think should have some people being willing to come together is to say we need more judges to adjudicate the cases that are already here and in the pipeline. People deserve their day in court if they truly do have an asylum claim. There's a path for that. But again, the
Yeah.
overwhelming majority of individuals crossing illegally don't actually have a claim that is validated when it's actually adjudicated on the merits.
So we've made some important distinctions here, and I would love to have you and Congressman Auchincloss join at some point here on Bloomberg to talk this out. Maybe we'll move the needle on it a little bit. And I just wonder if there's a point in making the difference here, distinguishing between border security and immigration policy, because this is obviously an incredibly tight labor market in this country, and we need immigrants from other countries, in many cases, very smart people to help us in the high-tech space, in other cases with manual labor that we can't get other people to do. Is that not part of this debate, or should it be?
It's got to be part of the conversation because we have both a broken legal immigration system as well as a broken illegal immigration system. The
Yes.
challenge is that under the past 2.5 years under the Biden administration, the broken illegal immigration system has gotten so bad that we need to address that before we can really have the conversation that is needed about fixing the broken legal immigration system. And in many ways, as we look at what's playing out right now, our current asylum laws are being abused by individuals to the benefit of illegal immigration. In many ways, Mexican drug cartels that are now making money trafficking individuals into the United States of America. And so breaking that system of the illegal immigration side is going to be absolutely essential before we can really get the political heft and the work done to address the broken legal immigration system.
Well, we definitely covered some important ground there. And the fact of the matter is you can't get anything done without a convincing majority here, or at least it's a lot more difficult. And Speaker Johnson mentioned recently in an interview on Fox that it might actually happen that you lose a member, that you lose a seat in an already thin majority. And I wonder if you're worried that that might be George Santos of New York. We heard from the Ethics Committee today. I'm sure it's not a fun thing to talk about, Congressman, but there seems to be another effort to expel the gentleman from New York. Do you think that's going to happen?
The Ethics Committee came out just a couple hours ago with their findings of fact. I think I owe it to the Ethics Committee and to the constituents in New York a full review of that report. But I can tell you the top line is incredibly concerning. And the ultimate punishment that can be handed out is expulsion. And I'm going to review the report before finalizing that decision. But I can tell you the illegal actions that are set forward in this report are incredibly concerning.
Are you colleagues? Is he part of the conference? Do you guys see each other at meetings, or is he, in his office with the door closed? That's been the experience for reporters.
Yeah, I don't have a deep relationship with him. And obviously, he's occasionally on the House floor when we have votes, as
Sure.
are all 435 members. But again, I think people are going to review this on the merits, on the facts. And I think that's what we owe it to the American people, but in particular his constituents, if the final decision is to expel him from Congress.
Understood. When you come back to town, assuming you're going to get back to Wisconsin at some point, Congressman, what's the first order of business? You're going to have roughly 20 legislative days when you come back to the potential shutdown to the time this CR expires. How do you start by getting your arms around it?
As we look out to coming back from Thanksgiving and Congress getting back to work, getting our funding bills, which are already behind the deadline, getting those done is going to be absolutely essential. We got to do that at the same time is looking at the U.S. national security situation, particularly as it relates to both Israel and Ukraine and U.S.-Mexico border policy. All of that has to be accomplished before the end of the year to be successful. It's a lot on our plate, but getting the stopgap measure through this week, I think really improves our opportunity to be able to spend the time and attention that's needed to address those when we come back.